My God, man. Do you know what this means? This ghetto's gonna be turned upside down, I tell you, upside down. If you get on his bad side, brother, you're done for. Now, it's only a matter of time before he finds out, and when he does, no matter where he is, get ready, gentlemen, because hell's a-coming, hell's a-coming, hell's a-coming, hell's a-coming, hell's a-coming.
You think you're the best? I hope you are. A Gundam mobile suit is a fully articulated, fully equipped machine, armed with the most sophisticated weaponry known to man. To be a complete Gundam pilot, you must train on both Gundam systems. Believe me, gentlemen, to beat the best, you have to be the best.
In a world where podcasting is king, you are listening to Gundam at MAHQ.
We have a problem. We need to set up a perimeter.
Who is this?
Isn't this the coach of the baseball team?
No, you have the wrong number. This is Shirley Douglas's residence.
Really?
Yes, I should know. She's my mother.
Your mother? You still live with your mother? How old are you?
I'm hanging up now.
Kiefer, who was that?
Damn it, Mom! I told you to knock before you come in!
All right, everybody, welcome back to Gundam at MAHQ. This is one of your hosts, Neo, and joining me always is the Soul Bro and the Chris. Guys, say hello.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Soul Bro, you there? Turn on your mic.
Oh, wow. Well, this time the streamer heard me, but you guys didn't, because my Discord was still muted. But welcome, everybody. Thanks for checking us out tonight.
Maybe someday you'll get this right.
Oh, dude, I have to run like 10 programs when I do this show, so I apologize. There you go.
A better way.
Back to you.
There's got to be a better way. But we'll,
one of these days. Anyway.
One of these days. Mm-hmm. There you go. This is episode 277 of Gundam at MAHQ. And we're going to be talking about the Gundam 0083 Rebellion manga. And we'll be talking about the whole entire thing. And we felt, instead of just listening to us three, sometimes we thought maybe we'd bring in a guest host and joining us for this, because I guess he is a big fan of this manga, telling everybody how much it's great, how much he loves it, and things like that. And that's Yazi, known as Yazi88 on multiple, applications out there. So Yazi, hello, welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. Looking forward to this.
All right, well, thank you. And guys, anything as I saunter over to the Larry King Memorial News Studio for some news? I know we have quite a few things to hit.
Oh yeah, man.
That's why I want to get there, because it's gonna be almost kind of like rapid fire. Yeah, it's just like boom, 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 boom. Yeah. So I just want to tell people, if you didn't get selected, it's nothing personal. It just didn't rise. It wasn't the A block, and that's all we needed. Neo's News is the A block. So
wow.
It is the A block.
I got nothing for you. So there you go.
Hey, man. Tell me if this is not A block material. This first post comes from the Shade. Coming from Gizmodo and various other places on the interwebs. A show that we had reviewed not too long ago, Star Trek Prodigy, which was season 1 that we did, that I think all of us really enjoyed. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a season 2 at this point. And not only had it been canceled, but it had been like immediately removed from Paramount Plus, which I guess is kind of different. I don't know. I mean, there's, when we've seen streamers in the past cancel things, they didn't always immediately remove them. So, guys, Chris, I'll go to you first because I'm sure you got some things to say on this. What do you think about this?
I mean, it's obviously bullshit. It's penny pinching nonsense because, they did say that they're going to shop it to another streamer, which will air the completed season 2 that they're still going to finish post-production on. But, the whole point of all of these stupid walled gardens of streaming outlets was it's going to be the exclusive home for all of our shit.
Yep.
And Paramount Plus, from day one when they did the rebrand from CBS All Access, they sold themselves as, your home for Star Trek, every series, every episode. Notice they never said every movie because those movies kept bouncing around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, clearly that's not something they can claim anymore. So it's like we spent all of this time having all this content pulled from Netflix, Hulu, all these other places to build up these walled gardens, and now we're going to tear them down and put stuff everywhere. And what was the point of everything the last 5 fucking years?
It's like they voluntarily just threw this shit away off of as you mentioned, bullshit. It seems like a reactionary action. I mean, some of those shows that got taken off, they just weren't doing well. But I would have thought they would have kept Prodigy only so that they could still tout that the service has all the Star Trek TV shows at least. But
here's the problem with what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to make huge amount of money selling this property's streaming rights to another outlet, because if they could, then they wouldn't be doing this in the first place.
Exactly.
But whatever piddling amount they make, that in the balance sheets of corporations in the billions of dollars is utterly insignificant.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever amount they make is not going to outweigh the goodwill with fans that they have killed.
Yeah, they've done some.
True.
They've done irrefutable damage with that. Just to watch the outpouring when
was
it
it ever projected to be a big deal? Was it? I thought it was just kind of they were rethinking Star Trek. They were going to try to do something to attract new viewers, specifically younger viewers. I'm sure the idea was never for it to be like this blockbuster thing. And then
I've heard rumors, I don't know how true this is, that that Prodigy befell the same fate as Young Justice on Cartoon Network, that you had the wrong audience watching it, and that it was too many old people and not enough kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're looking to move toys
too many people like us, not enough kids watching it on Nickelodeon and potentially buying the action figures.
Yeah.
And
that makes
other
sense.
Stuff.
And the video games.
That makes sense. I mean, because we do have to look at this. I know we look at it as fans and thinking that it's, that this incredible stories to be told, but in the end, it's a business for these guys.
Yo, it's like Gal-Gadot, man.
Yeah.
But also, it's they handled this in the most bullshit way, because they announced just out of nowhere that it's being canceled, and then that by the end of June was going to be removed, and then without any warning, they pulled it 5 days early.
Yeah, they did it really quick.
So within 2 days of announcing that it was going to be leaving,
Mm-hmm.
they pulled it. And this to me is especially insulting because they still have not released part 2 of season 1 on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I think they just dropped the second half of season 1, right? On some.
No, they have not.
Oh, they haven't. Okay.
The first half came
You
out.
can
not the second
you can
half.
buy the season digitally on other outlets.
Yeah,
but the second half of season 1 is not available.
Oh shit. Okay.
So you have paid for a full season, but have only gotten half.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks.
Well, the day that this shit happened, I bought the Blu-ray of the first half of season 1. It came in the mail. I'm looking at it right now. I do hope they do release the second half, and of course, all of season 2 whenever that becomes available to do so. But this is an unfortunate situation.
We'll see, because we've been trending for years now on trying to eliminate physical releases, and if they don't see any market in maintaining this show and even having it on Paramount Plus, then why are we going to waste money pressing Blu-rays? So
that's true.
It may be that the only way to get the second half of season 2 is to hoist that pirate flag.
Yeah,
which I would say, fuck them, fuck Paramount. This is bullshit, and this is a very short-sighted maneuver, and I think it also spells that the good days are over for the Star Trek Renaissance. Following on our last topic, I think we got to look at the fact that most things are going to be winding down, and I think the future is that, if any, there's just going to be one show at a time going forward.
Yeah, that could very well be the story.
I will say this. I think, and this is just an outsider's view, I think whoever's running Paramount Plus, and especially their marketing department, doesn't really know what's going on, because for the last 3 Grand Prix, I see on Formula One races ads all over for Paramount Plus, but specifically Tulsa King, which is a good show. I've seen it, but I'm just so surprised that you would, for European markets, international markets, that you would do something like that. I guess maybe because Sylvester Stallone, but it just seems like they're out of touch with whatever they're trying to do. And if you're having such a hard time with money, why are you doing an expensive sport like internationally? So I don't know. It just kind of boggles my mind. I think the shocking thing is that they just yanked the shit from being able to see it. That is just like that's more shocking to me than it being canceled.
The fact that it's so irresponsible, because you lure people into your service with shows like this. I mean, granted, it's not getting people to come in at a wild rate, but some people are there. Some people put it off for a rainy day, and you don't even give them a chance to check it out before you take it off the service. You could give them a 30-day window. It's like, look, we're going to be removing this at the end of next month. So if you haven't seen it yet, you need to get on there and check it out. It will be going. Set a date, man. Just don't say we're taking it off after this weekend. That's some horseshit.
They set a date. They said like 5 days it was going to be gone, and like.
Well, they said it was going to be gone at the end of the month, and then they pulled it 5 days early.
They
so
did.
That's
it was
the Monday to the injury.
The word they set the date. They just were evil bastards and just said, "Fuck it, we're just gonna."
The word hit that Friday, and then by Monday or Tuesday it was gone. So it was no time that shit was just fucking wiped off the map. And it's so frustrating. I got an extra special fuck you, by the way, for one man in particular who started this fucking trend. And it was so cool to see him get put on blast recently in GQ magazine. Only for the fucking article they ripped off of GQ magazine, the scathing stuff to be taken off of the article and it to be put back up temporarily anyway. And that's Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav. He started this fucking trend, and now everybody's following suit as if that's the way to fucking cut corners to save money. And I just want to say, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, dude, for real.
On general principle, he can fuck off.
Well, I will tell you this as an evil capitalist. This is the bet. Now I'm going to put the evil capitalist hat on. The capitalist pig hat.
Sure. Sure. Before you do, I'll just finish my statement real quick. He sees all entertainment as just content. Even classic movies. He's fucked over Turner classic movies as well. A lot of things. He's going to be selling like half the fucking Warner Brothers musical catalog. I'm just letting people know. I know you know. But
no, I get that. But what I'm saying is, as a capitalist, or I think. I forget what episode of 30 Rocket what it was. Jack Donaghy sees everything as a dollar sign. That's the way you have to think about how this works. So you see these as entertainment. They see this as revenue. And if there's a way to maximize the revenue from one of these things, even if it includes something like killing it for a tax write-off or whatever, or selling it in pieces and saying fuck Casablanca, we're going to sell it, to the highest bidder and whatever. That's what they're going to do. Like, I get where you're coming from, and I completely understand. But
It's just
when
that
you're saying
most of the previous executives actually love movies, and they love the movie business. And this guy comes in completely alien to it because he worked on nothing but fucking reality shows. But anyway, this is besides the point.
It's a business.
Yeah, it's a business. But that's not an excuse. You have to treat your customers better than he does, and he's not doing that. So fuck him and fuck any other head of company that's doing this shit instead of giving people the proper time to at least say goodbye to the shit, especially if it's going to be sold off for tax purposes, which hasn't been fucking been decided for Prodigy yet, but it is a reality that could fucking happen, and we may never see season 2 because of it. So,
but here's another buzzkill for you. With all the consolidation of this industry, you got nowhere else to go to. So, and they're thinking you're pissed off now, but 6 months from now they'll have something that you're gonna hear buzz about, and you're gonna be like, oh, it's great, and you'll forget about it. And because guess what, you may not, but
matey, but there is somewhere else you can go.
There is.
And Chris is right. There is a place where it always lives on.
Well, fuck you to him, and
the pirate piece.
Well, fuck you to him and all these other broke ass Logan Roy's.
That's your utopia. That's your utopia. The pirates, oyster pirate.
Hey, look, man, I tried to do it right. I tried to do it by legitimately. I subscribed to a lot of services. I tried to play the good game, and now it's time to get dirty. So fuck it. Anyway,
I can neither confirm nor deny.
I'm gonna throw it back to you.
If SBR has ever done anything from the pirate flag.
It's only suitable to raise the Orion flag. You got to go full Orion on this.
Yes, exactly.
I always have showplex.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
go ahead. Gazi, any feedback on this?
I say we gotta go full pirate on Star Trek. We gotta go full Orion on this.
Full Orion.
And I will just remember as part of the Gundam legal department, we neither endorse nor we will never say that anybody doesn't have freedom of speech on that. So if people want to go to the fire, don't come to us. Don't say that we said that it was good.
Play at your own risk.
Exactly.
There you go.
But here's some good news, though. This is coming from MCT Dread. And, this past weekend was Anime Expo, and I guess there was some stuff that was announced. But prior to that, and I know Chris has had some... he was extremely happy. I know he was doing the Soul Bro dance in his house when he heard about this. But it looked like our friends at Discotex had announced that they're going to release Blue Comet SPT Lasner, TV anime, and the OVA, the Magical Girl Lyrica Nanoho Detonation anime film, aimed for the Aces 2, The Wonderful World of Puss in Boots, anime movie, Fist of the North Star, The Legend of Yura, Fist of the North Star, Legend of Toki, Fist of the North Star, The Legend of the True Savior, Legend of Rona anime, and the live action recently, My Sister is Unusual film. So, Chris, I know you've been waiting to talk about Lasner. How did you feel that day when you heard this news? I guess that would be the first thing.
Well, I would watch every discotheque day the tweets as they would roll in, and would always be disappointed every time that the discotheque day would end and Lasner wasn't announced. One time that I miss it because I was out doing something is when they fucking announced this show. So I didn't hear about it until like an hour or two later, and I was like, God damn it.
Was your phone blowing up from other people being like, Chris, did you see that shit? It's awesome, right? And you're like, what? Huh?
It was not, but I when I looked up, I was like, son of a bitch. But I'm glad that we finally are getting it, and it's an HD remaster. It's not an upscale. Yeah. And hopefully this opens the door towards getting some of those other Sunrise 80s Real Robot shows licensed, like Dragonar and Vifum and Dugrum.
You want the Holy Grail? You want the Holy Grail, Ideon?
We already have that. It's been out for years.
It's
out of print. It's out of print now, but it's been out for years.
God damn it!
Vipin was just announced for a Blu-ray release in Japan, so if Discotheque wants to do that, in the future, they have that to use for the Japanese release. So
cool. So,
not a fan of the cover art, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is a little.
Their hands.
It is a little lazy.
Well, somebody asked, people were complaining about it, and someone from Discotech responded on Twitter that that's what was provided to them by Sunrise, and that's what they're restricted to using. So,
Damn.
my theory, unconfirmed, is that because the cover art is just not. It's not that it's not great. It is like actively not good.
Yeah, it's not good
It
at
is
all.
bad.
Yeah,
I think that it is.
looks bootleg. Looks like a bootleg copy. Like
It's a protection measure on Sunrise's end to discourage Japanese otaku from wanting to reverse import the cheaper American set because it's going to be so ugly to look at.
Fuck.
That is my theory.
Okay.
So we get
That's
to
my
suffer?
theory.
That sucks.
Because look, let's not kid ourselves. A lot of box art for American anime releases is inferior to the Japanese versions,
Yeah.
and sometimes I think that's by design.
Yeah, that
It's
makes
not
sense.
just a coincidence.
That's
Yeah, I
a pretty
think
good
it is,
strategy,
yeah.
but it's also pretty cold-blooded. Oh.
because they already got
Especially
the
for
cool
older shows.
because they already got the cool box art already done. Like all they have to do is just give you the same one they're doing in Japan. So it's like
Well, they don't want to do that, so
right.
we end up
So
with
it is intentional. That's my point. It's like
Yeah.
anyone says it's not. It's like, huh? Why
Yeah.
would it? I mean, that's a quick,
It's like there's a lot of art for this show. I mean, I've seen it for years and years and years. So Sunrise supplying Discotech with just that thing, that's a very deliberate choice.
So because of this, we end up with the Fisher Price cover. God damn it.
I mean, I'm still gonna pre-order it
Yeah.
day one. No
It's
hesitation there.
Hey.
But it's
Yeah.
just not as nice looking as it could have been.
Look, dude, you can make your own, man. Photoshop opens up the world of possibilities, man. Find some dope-ass art.
This ain't the early 2000s anymore, where you go to like alternate DVD cover sites and print those out, man.
Yo, Kinko's
I
is
did
your-
that back in.
Oh,
I
you
did
did
that
that?
in the 90s.
Look at you, you a champion, sir. Yo, good shit.
This looks like a Photoshop cover, though, of all things.
Yeah.
Put anything on there.
You can see a little bit of the halo around some of the characters, man. It's all right, man. They did the best they could.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't want to harp on
it
it
is.
too much, but it's
Tough stuff,
I'm sure
man.
it'll be a fine release in every other aspect, and it'll be another winner from Discotech. But
Yeah.
that
Well,
department.
I guess it's what's inside that it's important.
Literally.
It's not,
Yes.
not what on the outside there. Yeah, it's like
It's what's inside that counts.
yeah, this is the typical example of what's inside that counts.
There you go.
Means something. There you go.
Ooh.
So, thank you, Mr. NC2. Oh my God, Yazi88. Who is
Ooh.
that guy?
Ooh.
Man, he gave a post here, and I guess he's talking about the new Gundam animation project announced at the Anime Expo. I'm so sad I didn't go there. It was too hot, and I had to go down south. But yeah, it was announced this past Saturday, and they're producing entirely with Epic Games Unreal Engine 5. It's called Mobile Suit Gundam Requiem for Vengeance. And
You gotta say the Gundam seed weight.
Yeah.
So it's the project's episodes are set in the Universal Century chronology of the first Mobile Suit Gundam story and its sequels, and it's going to be told from the Xeon faction's perspective. Oh yay! Particularly from the Zaku Mobile Suit cockpits. And the trailer said that they had a trailer. It says 11 months after the Revolutionary War, and I guess the producer, this guy named Hignite, cited that Gundam's Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt and 08MS team have influences on the project. And so I had seen this online. It looks interesting. Guys, I don't know. Solbro, were you able to see this?
Yazi and I talked about it on a stream I did this weekend. I did see this picture, and I'm excited for it. We had talked about in the last episode. I had asked specifically that Sunrise worked with creators outside of Japan, and lo and behold, this story breaks out, and it's like, man, that's super cool. I'm glad to see that this project's in the works. It's using Unreal Engine 5, which is an impressive engine, man. If you see some of the tech demos for that, it's phenomenal, especially with what's it called, metahumans. The way that it's you still experience the uncanny valley looking at it, but it's pretty impressive if you look at it from a distance. So they're getting there slowly. But I got high hopes for this, man. I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic. And I can't wait to see the trailer, and hopefully it's a great result in the end, man. Looking at the cover, I mean, I'm not crazy about the title, but that could change before it comes out, so you never know. But it looks cool.
And that's interesting. And it's interesting you say that, because I forgot to say this is kind of like a United Nations effort here. It looks like the art is done by Hermesis Broadson, German artist, and then Gavin Hignite, which is the writer. He did Tekken Bloodline, Transformers Cyberverse, Star Wars Resistance, and then I guess an Australian actress, Celia Massenham, is going to be voicing the lead character and perform the motion capture. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then, of course, producer Naohiro Ogata is involved in the project, and he's, from such hits as The Witch from Mercury and Thunderbolt. So, yeah, truly a United Nations effort on getting Gundam out to the masses here.
That's what's up, man. I'm excited for it, and I certainly hope we get to see it sometime soon. They can take the time with it, though, and we'll eventually get to see it and review it on the show. So maybe they will. Who knows?
Yazi, since anything you want to add since we talked about this with Solbro?
Yeah, there's another post on there. There is a trailer out for it, and this is also interesting that this pretty much MS Igloo 3 from the sounds of it, and they showed the actual Zaku and the Gundam design. The Gundam design is looks like a S8 looking unit. It has a gun-cast beam rifle of all things, so it's also a female lead character. So
yeah,
I like to know, is she gonna do a stop motion dance with her Zaku like Suletta did?
I don't know. So, Chris, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's interesting that they're going for an international crew again, because we haven't had that since G Savior. I think this will turn out better than that. At the very least, it'll have better facial animations than Igloo, because that's always creepy watching that.
Yes.
20 years later,
technology is just better now. Yeah.
I will say, I'm not going to pull up the bus for this, but folks, it's 2023. Can we stop complaining about more one-year war OVAs? There's just going to always be another one-year war OVA. Yeah. Stop complaining about too many Gundams, overstuffing the timeline, and it's just always going to stop. The complaint is not going to have any impact on this. There's no probability ever of there being fewer one-year war OVAs. They're not going to move on and focus on Zeta era. They're not going to focus on F91 era. They're just going to keep coming back to the one. It is just a fact of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the bread and butter.
Just accept it.
I would love between the one-year war and the Zeta era, maybe that stuff, and we'll get that when we talk about our main topic tonight. But yeah, I think you just have to get to the conclusion of like every other or every couple projects, it's going to be something in the one-year war. I mean, it's where it all started. So, and it's still entirely popular in Japan, so they moved the needle. I mean.
But come on, Crossbow's still gonna happen, man.
It sure is, buddy.
Be careful on that, because with all the craziness, you never know. I think that's the day that Chris stops. I think he just.
I got a sewer that Crossbone can go into.
I think if that ever happens, Chris just shuts it all down.
I'm just gonna hit delete on MAHQ entirely. Like, bye, folks. You don't get to have anything.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So, anything else about this? Like I said, yeah, it's cool. It's international. I think. Gosh, I mean. Have they been listening to us? Weren't we saying some of these things years ago? But hey, what are you going to do?
I think they've confirmed it's going to be 6 episodes, if I remember
correctly.
Oh,
yeah, because I will give credit to MCV Dread. He gives a a link later saying that is going to be a 6-episode net release too. So let me just go into that one. Maybe there's some other information here. Yeah, 6 episodes from the Anime News Network. Yeah, the cover art is interesting. They're going to be 6 30-minute episodes streaming worldwide, focusing on the European front during the 1-year war, which is interesting. I mean, did we really have anything on the European front in the 1-year war?
I mean, yeah, Odessa, Operation
Odessa,
Odessa,
Mobile Suit Gundam, yeah.
kind of a big thing.
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
I know that, but I'm saying
Belfast.
outside of that. Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, all MS Igloo 3 was the European. Oh, sorry, MS Igloo 2 was in the European front.
Oh, with
Yeah.
the Bill pop in.
Cuckoo's
MS
Dones
Igloo
Island.
1.
Oh, true. Cooker's Dones Island.
Dones
yeah.
Island. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, we're
Right
going
on.
back for a while then. Damn them! Why can't they do Asia? No, kidding. I guess, and then the
Why
director.
can't they do the Caribbean front of the 1-year war?
Operation Rock Lobster?
Yes.
when they took over Jamaica. I guess it's kind of cool. They had a video message from the director, and stuff like that. So that I guess that's cool. Yeah, there you go. So thank you, MCT Dread, on that. Next one here comes from Saber, and oh man, I know this is Chris was probably loving this too.
Oh.
I mean, this is the stuff that we love, you know. I guess the official website for the Mobile Suit Gundam Seed film project opened this past Sunday.
Oh.
And guess what they revealed the film's title to be? And if you guys have already seen this, then just tell me. But
I've already seen it, so yeah.
I've seen it.
Oh, man,
Gundam Seed Infinity.
No, you're wrong.
Gundam Seed Eternity.
It's freedom. It's freedom.
Yo, freedom! Oh,
What?
Yep. And guess it's
No.
Cosmic Era
What?
75.
No.
So that's what, like 4 years after the original? Was it 73 or no? What was Gundam
It's
Seed?
1 year after Destiny.
Yeah, it's
1 year after. Oh, that's right, because it was 73, then 74. Okay. And there's an English subtitle teaser promotional video, and it sounds like they're going to have January 26, 2024 is going to be the opening in Japan. So circle your calendars or put a reminder in your phone. So it looks like Fukuda will be back directing the film, so that'll be good. It looks like there's a whole list of people that are going to be part of it. And they announced the planned release was in the end of the current fiscal year, which ends in March 2024, but I guess they moved it up. It's part of the Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Project Ignited initiative, which was announced in 2021. The initiative commemorated the 20th anniversary of the original Mobile Suit anime in 2022, had several parts. So it looks like it's going to be a direct sequel to Gundam Seed Destiny. I wonder what ending they're going to be doing after that. So, but guys, any thoughts?
No, it's been a long time coming. I'm glad to see that there's actual evidence of this actually happening. Other than that, I got to take a wait and see approach and see what happens next. We'll see what happens. I hope it's good.
Jesus Yamato comes back after 3 flashbacks.
No doubt.
What do you think they're gonna call the Gundam in here? Super Strike Freedom?
Oh, yeah, that is a question there. Yeah, what would
something pretty predictable given the names?
No, Strike Freedom Ignited. Strike Freedom Ignited.
It'll
be part of the initiative. It's all got to. The marketing department will have right, Chris? You think that'll be good? I mean,
Yeah, sure.
I wouldn't put it past him.
What alias will Atherin have at this one? Because he'll have to have an alias, right?
Char Aznable.
There you go. Full circle.
Tala.
Kutala.
Nutella. But yeah, so you guys excited, huh?
Hey,
You never thought it would happen.
I hope it's good. I hope they take us back to what we loved about Seed in the first place. And well, I'll hold it from there. Like,
Do you really think that that's going to be the case?
probably not. I try to.
This teaser that was all about Jesus Yamato.
Oh yeah, true.
You think this is going to be something good?
It's
Come on,
it's
don't try to fool yourself into optimism.
So is our boy going to be doing the music? TM Revolution? Is he?
Oh,
I didn't
shit.
see any of that, did you?
Probably.
He's got
Probably
to,
in
right?
He'll
I
probably in
mean,
the movie as a character.
He'll probably play somebody else who will die in 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
The lowest Reggie-kun.
Damn.
yeah. Well, that's good stuff. Yeah, I'm excited. I
Fun
don't know
times.
about you guys.
I will say, in all honesty, obviously this movie took forever to happen, and it seemed like it never was going to happen.
Mhm.
I feel that the Seed universe has potential, and it's in somebody else's hands. And we saw some of that potential eons ago with Stargazer.
Yep.
Yeah,
But if outside of Fukuda's hands, and if he just moved beyond Kira, for God's sakes, like go 50 years into the future, give us a different type of story. This universe could be better. But Fukuda just cannot let go of Kira and not move things forward, and that is just what is so tired. Like, I'm tired of hearing about Kira. I don't need to hear 2 more hours about whatever Kira's adventures are and how he's going to be morally absolutely correct and everybody's wrong, and he's just going to beat up everybody and show them the errors of their ways. I already got enough of that. I got 100 episodes of that.
So what you're saying is that Kira is Fukuda's Ahsoka?
That's an insult to Ahsoka.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
oh man, that's over.
Would you say he's his self-insert character possibly?
Oh, he is. We have photos of back in the day of
no.
Fukuda and Morisawa cosplaying as Kira and Lacus.
Oh, that's a confirm.
Yeah,
of course.
That's a confirm right there. Good shit. Damn.
Yeah, and the sad thing about this is I did like Kira.
Yeah.
But
In
then
Seed.
like in Seed, yeah. And then when you get to the point of where he's holier than thou, because he was kind of flawed in a lot of ways in Seed, and you kind of got it, and he was a conflicted guy because he was part of this one group, but he was protecting another group that there are wars. I get all that, and then it just became like I am the morally God, and anything I say is just, no matter, even if I do horrible things, you should accept that, and you are wrong because I said it to be wrong. And yeah, it sucks. I think you're right, Chris. I mean, I guess, unfortunately, and I'm not like dancing on the grave of the dead, but I mean, Fukuda's wife is no longer with us, so maybe just the fact of having a different scriptwriter, maybe that helps, but it would be
She's still listed as one of the credited writers, so
Ow.
seems that
They're using most of our leftover
work
scripts.
is being used.
Yeah.
Oh, AI.
Wow. No. But yeah,
ChatGPT. How would Morisawa? You got to use Morisawa.
At
How
least
would
they
she have
didn't
done
list the
movie?
help of the guy who wrote Build Divers, so that's saying
Oh,
something.
that's true. There you go.
He's still working on what's it called? Kyokai because I refuse to say the American name. It's Warrior of the Battlefield, some kind of nonsense like that. So he's been with that crap.
Okay. Man.
The best part about this is that we're gonna see Kira surging in the character pose again. It's only gonna take Lelouch come back to stop him off that throne.
Yo, Lelouch, please come back and beat him. Please.
I'll take 5 more movies with Lelouch just
Fuck
to
yeah.
ensure that outcome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. I mean, even as flawed as those last few, some of those entries were with him, it's like it still felt better. Yeah. So, anything else, guys?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And any other news? Chris, did I miss anything else that you wanted to hit on, or?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for. If you ever have any news, just post to the Neos listener submitted news articles thread in the Gundam section of the Mecha Talk forum.
I do have
What's
one.
up? Oh,
I do have one slight note. Netflix dropped the trailer for Pluto, the full-on trailer for Pluto, which comes out on October 26th. It is fantastic. If you haven't seen it yet, please go to YouTube and check that out. Pluto is a retelling of a particular famous arc from Astro Boy, but done as a cyberpunk murder mystery. And it is fan-fucking-tastic. The manga is 8 volumes long. We've mentioned it on the show numerous times. And when this drops and finally comes out, I cannot wait to review it on the show. But it's hitting Netflix. The budget looks like they put some serious money into it. And it is fantastic, man. I definitely check it out.
Over under Cowboy Bebop, the time that it got canceled. So over under on this? Or are you taking over the under on
It's
that?
an animated series. I don't see him killing too many anime series right now, but I think this will get a decent run. We'll see what happens, but it looks insanely polished, and it's scratching every itch. I've wanted to see an anime for a while.
What's scratching the bigger itch? This or the live action One Piece?
This by far. That live action One Piece, I don't know what to make of it. I'm not going to shit on it. The heart is in the right place, but the execution, that I have to see for myself. So yeah, that's it. There's some things I like about it, and some things I don't. But I'm not the most devout One Piece fan. I know Chris has seen more One Piece than I have, so he'd probably be better to speak on this. But they got support from the people who make it. So
fourth quarter write-offs for Netflix.
Oh no! I hope it's good, man. I did took a beating for Bebop, so I want that One Piece to be good just for the sake. But
remember, their metrics are really screwed up. So
yeah, it's well. But yeah, Pluto, man, I don't think they're gonna miss with this one. If they stick with the story in the manga, they're not gonna miss at all. It's fantastic. Yeah, I'll give it my guarantee straight up. Yeah, unless they go way off base from what the manga adaptation is, I don't think they're gonna miss. So I look forward to it.
Sounds good. All right. Well, let's go into our topic tonight, the Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 Rebellion manga. Chris, you want to give us a quick synopsis of this? I guess it would be real quick because...
well, there's really no synopsis to give because it's still the same story as the anime, but just with a lot of additions and changes. So, if anything, we're going to, I think, focus on the additions and
an extended epilogue.
And an extended epilogue.
Like an extended epilogue, yeah. Yeah, that was kind of what I was looking for. So,
yeah.
I don't know. You want to give it to Yazi first? I mean, he was the one that was pounding down everybody's doors to read this. I guess Yazi, give us some of your highlights of 0083 Rebellion.
So it kind of went the origin route, of retelling the anime as many flaws as there is. But the interesting thing about Rebellion is that it's written by the director of Gundam 083, Takeshi Imanishi, who's done a bunch of Gundam stuff like the Origin and then stuff like that. So he's pretty much making up for the flaws for the anime. So
yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of an interesting take, and lots of big changes. And the two biggest ones is being Seema and Kelly Lasner. They're like the two MVPs of biggest changes to this manga. And then it's also, you see some loose connection to some of the other manga that the same artist has done, like Gundam 0081 Gundam Legacy, and then the Gundam 0081 manga. Mm-hmm. And I believe he also did Lost World Chronicle, because you see a couple of chapters with some side characters on there. So
well, there's some Igloo stuff in here, right, too? Because there was some Zudas that show up, and then the Jordaheim showed up, right?
It's because
not the Jotunheim. Not the Jotunheim. Just another one of the shape. Was not the Jotunheim.
It's the same model ship. They made a couple of those. But the reason for the Igloo stuff is from the same director, so he added a bunch of his stuff in there too. So that's why you see all the Igloo stuff. So
I forget the name of the pill popping pilot's tank from Igloo, but the Hildolfer. But that also makes an appearance in this too, right? I believe so.
Yes, they modified it to be actual mobile suit. When they were doing the colony drop, it did show up like 3 of them. So
that's what's up. Well, back to you.
But lots of changes. They bring in some cameos. You see, what's his name? Shoot.
Oh, Sanders.
Sanders, who sadly was not promoted to a colonel here.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, but one of the biggest surprises, Alice Miller
Yeah.
from Miller's Report show up. She actually plays a very important role in here, and because she's like doing the intelligence stuff, she pretty much calls out all the bullshit the Federation sees everything coming, even to pretty much the formation of the Titans on here. So that was actually really cool to see. And then you see her team up with her cute little like assistant, who's a technical lieutenant, and yeah, you see lots of new mobile suit designs, different variants, even Kou, some character changes here. Like Kou is actually a lot more competent character. He's not a complete wuss here. He's more of a mobile suit otaku, if anything else. Still afraid of carrots, as we see 2 times in here early. So,
Him and Keith. I mean, I think Keith is, Keith still has that kind of like fish out of water thing, but he is, he's shown to be more of a pilot too. Like they lose that noob status very quickly in this.
Keith's still not very competent pilot, but he does okay enough. Mostly Kou.
He survives. I mean, he survived. You gotta give him that.
Yep, and surprisingly enough, Nina is somewhat more tolerable personality-wise, but the biggest one is Mancha of all people.
Oh yeah, man! Holy shit!
Oh, yeah.
I didn't expect to like him in this at all.
That's my biggest surprise here.
Shocking.
Mancha of all people.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, South Burning also, he also sticks around for quite a while longer. They even explained his past about him having a wife who looks like his daughter of all things, because he still looks like a 55-year-old man. Despite being
even though he's only like 35.
Yo, the battlefield aged his ass, boy.
Yeah, it did.
That guy's out in the sun too much.
Oh my
That's
God.
what did him in.
That's why he's South Burning. Yeah, he's South Burning.
Yo, burning.
South Burning looks like current day Ric Flair.
Oh shit! Wait, the Lost looks like fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, he's like.
No, he looks like Walter White.
Yo, he kind of does.
Yeah. He's like Space Walter White. Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah,
man!
I mean, personality-wise, you're not far off.
Yeah.
He is the danger.
I am the danger.
I am the one who drops the colony.
Yes.
I'm the one who drops.
Say my name. So who was Hank who read the thing? The ship from hell.
Oh my God! Yo, freaking Bascom. Oh,
anything
man.
else, Jazzy? Any other highlights?
Actually shows one interesting thing. Actually shows like the full fallout Operation Star, like the colony drop, how it's affect like the surrounding part could hit the North America. It was glossed over in the anime. They actually showed like the destruction, the impact, and everything, and even the way the Federation command is messed up too, because a lot of these Federation officers, they let it happen more so here.
Oh, they were part of it.
We're part of it. All in on the whole time.
Spoiler alerts! They knew it was coming.
Yeah,
like, and
they want to use it for their political advantage, which is like one of the more interesting aspects of the story.
I think the most interesting thing is like it not only falls over in North America, but it falls over like the food production areas, and it's like the stuff that they created after the war because the Earth was so reliant on the colonies prior to the war of food production, and then it's like they did this, and then these things, it's some dirty ass shit that you see there. So, and like you said, Alice Miller basically is almost predicting some of this stuff as she's giving her report. So,
but then you see like Kelly Lasner has a very big shift in his character, because he pretty much kind of semi defects to the Albion because he thinks they're gonna drop the colony on Granada, which his pregnant girlfriend is, and he pretty much is Kou's co-pilot in the GPO-3.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest additions to the story, man.
Yep, and then Seema, you could technically say that the rebellion part of the manga is Seema's rebellion, because she rebels against both the Federation and the D-Last, almost that she has to force herself to team up with the Albion, who's also on everyone's shit list.
Yeah,
the Federation and the D-Last fleet. So it's a very odd couple pairing here.
All right. Anything else?
I'll let you guys harp on. So,
Bro, what are some of the things you liked?
Well, man, this is definitely a deep meditation of the OVA series, that's for sure. Shout out to Imanishi for like just really fleshing out the story and giving a lot of characters agency that they didn't have in the OVA. Honestly, a lot of the characters are very well rounded as a result. We had major issues with like Nina, and of course Mancha, and many other characters. How Burning died in the TV show and in the OVA. I was like, man, it was almost laughable almost. But here it's super dramatic, and wires get crossed. People have to align with people who killed other people. It's very intertwined and tugs at the heartstrings because I didn't think they were going to go as far with Kelly's character as they did. I thought it was one of the best reinventions of a character from an OVA series into this manga. I gotta give him credit for that. It was super cool. It was cool to see Seema doing a lot of political maneuvering and being able to shift on the dime and just being crafty the whole way. I love the reinvention of her character. They did her a solid. Nana herself was totally annoying in the OVA, but here she was a little crazy. let's be honest, but I definitely liked her a whole lot more. She had a crush on Gato. They fleshed that out instead of that being like this sudden development that wasn't even covered in the first half of the series. Instead, they gradually dropped crumbs along the way, and it was a great reintroduction of that connection. And her connection to Kou, I think her relationship with Kou was a whole lot better in this too. And Kou as a character overall was far more likable. He's a nerd about mobile suits, but we can relate to him because we're a nerd about mecha anime. So, it was just nice to see that character treated with a lot more respect and given a bit more of an edge and more of an obsession for wanting to take down Gato. He didn't want to kill him; he just wanted to bring him to justice, which I thought was fantastically rendered throughout the series. The cameos were sensible. I gotta say, they didn't like stick people in just for the gimmick. These are people who show up in places that you would expect them to. So, like seeing Sanders and the fact that he was assigned to another place. You knew that happened because if you watch the end of 8th MS Team, he's no longer in the jungle at that point. So eventually moves around the Federation. I don't remember if they said that he was still kind of a cursed guy because the 8th MS Team for the most part survived. So I think he may have broken his curse with being paired up with them. But just to see him there and to see him brawling with all these other soldiers, and it exposes the racism between the Space Noids and the Earthers. To me, that was a good example of kind of like the tensions building up for that, because that definitely sets the stage to the political tensions that are in Zeta, and how the Titans use these horrible events to gain power and political hand. In order to move things further, and to see that Jobmatov, Hyman, and Bosco are using these events to their advantage to get a vice grip around the Federation, and turn it into this organization that basically is there to diminish Space Noids and to keep them in check. It does a great job of like just building up that ladder to the events that roll out in Zeta. So I got to give the manga its credit there too. I'm also a big fan of Masato Natsumoto. Years ago I read all of KOF King of Fighters Kyo, for those who don't know, which they made a really cool game for on the PlayStation. The game was based on the manga that he did. And he did a really good job. Reading this manga, it's like, seeing his artwork, it's like, I just want to go back and read KOF after reading this, because I didn't realize that this manga artist also worked on that too. So to finally make the connection and to recognize his artwork in this and see how much it is advanced, it's fantastic. He did a great job rendering a lot of the splash pages and restructuring and dressing up the scenes that we already knew, and expanding upon them based on Imanashi's writing here. Overall, man, I was really gripped. There was some situations where I was just at the edge of my seat. waiting for shit to play out, seeing certain characters get killed. There's a lot of violence in this book, so if you haven't read it yet, be prepared. People getting shot in the head, getting dusted, getting airlocked. It's not for the ease. It's not for the faint of heart. So go into that with that warning. But the way he renders the mecha and the fight scenes as well are expertly done, action packed, yet also thoughtful with the character development. I will say though, I was still heated about the fate of Synapse. I know that shit was gonna happen. It's still one of the greatest injustices of the fucking universal century. But I look at it this way: Synapse took the bullet so that no one else had to. Whatever he had to, like, literally took that bullet. He'll forever go down as one of the greatest captains in all of Gundams, if not Mecha anime. He got fucked. And even more so, as you can see that they're building a case against him. The whole story, it's absolutely is an outrage for real. But
I don't think he's more fucked than Grodic in Gundam Age.
Oh, fair point.
Yeah.
Guy went to jail
Yeah.
for doing the right thing and then got shanked in an alley.
You're right. That's true, man. You just reminded me of that. God damn. But Synapse did get a raw fucking deal, but he took it like a man, son. He did. I mean, you know, I also seeing how my man South Burning went out, you know, and how they fucking built up to it with that old trope of I'm gonna go and see my old girl after all this is over. I'm leaving the service. It's like, God damn it, man! Did you guys have to do this shit? We know he's dying.
Better than I just discovered the secret plan and I'm about to tell you, and then I blow it.
It's a little bit better than that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It is an
But
old trope.
I'm reminded of Black Dynamite, where this one guy says, "Yo, after the war, I'm gonna go home to my girl." Blah blah, and the dude gets shot immediately. It's like, come on, man. But good shit. I gotta say, this is one of my favorite reinterpretations of a Gundam OVA series, bar none. They did an excellent job. All 18 volumes, straight banger, man. And I'll turn it back over to you guys to talk about it as well.
Yeah, I think I said to you guys before I handed it over to Chris, when I knew the thing that was happening with Captain Synapse, but then when you do see, and because it's just building, and you see this is the precursor of what the Titans are going to use. They're going to use fear and that nobody's safe. And what's more fearful to keep the crew in line than showing, yeah, guess what? Your captain, we court-martialed and immediately found him guilty and killed him immediately. Yeah. So don't say a fucking word. That's basically what it was, because he was one of the... I don't know his background. Maybe Chris, you probably know some of the stuff, you know, and other things have been, you know, other properties or whatever. But you can tell that he was, you know, just one of those lucky people that survived the 1 year war from the beginning and knew what the hell was going on and knew that, you know, okay, the Federation won, but there are people in the Federation that just want to do horrible things. And, you can see that was part of the payment of it too. But yeah, that was the precursor of what the Titans were going to do to instill their rule. So, Chris, some of your highlights, things you liked.
Nothing.
Okay.
Parrots.
I feel, you know, reading over this, that this feels like it's a manga adaptation of if 0083 had been 26 episodes.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And if the story had been fully fleshed out, you know, the entire first volume is essentially a prequel that's set before episode 1, going into all of this background and setup. And I think one of the best changes is depicting Kou as, instead of just this like wimpy kid way in over his head, he's this mobile suit tech nut. And he just has an affinity for these things, and it makes him come across as way more confident and capable, and that you can believe that he should be the pilot of the Gundam. Like the way that it expands characters' arcs, and some ways dramatically, and some ways even not so much, but I liked that early on we got this whole arc for Dick Allen, who was, just killed unceremoniously in the second episode,
Yeah.
but goes through this whole thing of, you know, wanting to leave the military. Then he finds out that the Albion's under threat, so he comes back to warn them. Then he goes back into combat and he gets killed, and that's a lot more satisfying. I like the things that they removed, such as the ridiculous paintball fight between Kou and Mancha to determine who's going to pilot the Gundam. That was dumb.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see that gone. Kelly, of course, has a huge arc because he does not die fighting Kou on the moon. He actually does meet up with Gato and joins his former comrades. And, also the fact that he's the one who kills Burning, which, puts Mancha on the path to wanting to get vengeance and trying to kill him later on. I like that he gets a happy end, that he gets to go back to Latura and see his baby and not just be another casualty of war. Alice Miller is a good presence, and what's interesting about her character is that she's still as anti-Zeon as she was in 8th MS team, but she's no fascist enabler.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's very effective at her job. It makes you wonder what becomes of her after this during the Grips War. And maybe she becomes part of AU. I don't know, but be interesting to see.
She probably need to keep her eye on her back because she pissed off a lot of the wrong people.
True.
So.
Yeah. She might have did the ditch. Who knows?
Yeah. Think about what Mancha talks about in the epilogue. You know, we're just gonna go forward with always one eye behind her back. Yeah. So they knew they were marked at the end. So
I feel like this series does a much better job of developing itself as a Zeta prequel, because in the anime, Tav and Bask, they really just have glorified cameos, Jamatov especially, but you see them here as being integral to this Federation conspiracy and part of this plot, and then in the 2-volume epilogue of seeing the early days of the Titans, and I like the spin on things that we saw the Albion crew, most of them becoming Titans, but the context here is that it's so that the Titans can keep an eye on them because they're covering up the colony drop as saying that it was an accident caused by Space Noid negligence. Because they don't want to admit that Zeon forces successfully dropped another colony on Earth. I like as was mentioned earlier, the elaboration that the colony drop devastated food production, which makes Earth reliant on the colonies for food now, and leads to them trying to seize control of a colony that produces food. And that's the whole basis for the 2-volume epilogue with Mancha. Mancha is someone that I absolutely hated throughout the entirety of 003. And even though he still has a lot of the same character traits, just the depiction of him is just a few degrees different, and it makes all the difference. Plus this journey that he goes on in the epilogue, they keep repeating the theme of, Burning's advice from the 1-Year War of don't bring your hate onto the battlefield. And he eventually has to come to terms with that, and that puts him in some interesting situations. Seema feels like a more fully developed character, I would say, and the fact that she ends up pulling off what she does at the end is a testament to her duplicity and her guile and her resourcefulness.
Oh yeah.
And last thing, and for a highlight, the final battle between Kou and Gato is much more drawn out, much more involved, much more engaging than their duel in this episode of the OVA.
Yeah. Anything else, Chris?
That's it for highlights, but I do have some lowlights.
All right, let me get on my highlights real quick. I'll just build off you guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that Seema and them are MVPs in the aspect of that makes them great people. You understand why they did what they did. I mean, being branded as a war criminal, and that whole thing with that, God, I forget that guy that was the one that was captured to try to use against her and all that.
Hale Hunt.
Hale Hunt, yeah. So, I mean, it made more sense than her just being some crazy women in space with all these shirtless guys around. You know, because that's what it was to me.
And a lion skin rug.
Yeah.
The lion skin rug and all that. I mean,
the village people as a crew.
It showed that she was desperate. She wanted to stay alive. She didn't want to fate of being a war criminal. You find out that, you know, it doesn't excuse it, but she would, you know, in some ways, in her view, you know, she was tricked into doing what she did. They kind of didn't know, they were lied to. And then in the end, it shows, you know, I was saying to these guys beforehand, it's like, you know, you can tell that Jamitov and Bask were like, these are like the real horrible people that were brought in. You know, they were probably low-level Federation officers at the start of the war, and just because of, you know, battlefield attrition and you know, these guys find themselves in power, and they seize the opportunity, and they seize the chaos of everything that's going on, and they use the Xeon remnants, and the Xeon remnants walk into it. I mean, they're willing enablers to get this in there, and you know, just the amount of conspiracy and just how they wanted to use that as a way of just a fascist takeover. I mean, there's nothing more on it, and you know, that's where you see the Albion. It's almost like the collection of, you know, the you know, in a lot of ways the Albion is like the White Base in the aspect it's just the collection of misfits, but this is the collection of misfits where you got people that are just not, they're identified as the people of special abilities, but not part of the Master Titan plan. And you know, like you said, Kou, he was the idealistic soldier recruit. You know, he felt, okay, mobile suits are the way of the future, these cool wonder machines and all this, and then, you know, he gets caught up in this thing that is just you know, beyond his control. And yeah, it's a lot of it's a great way of retelling it. I think somebody had mentioned the cameos were cool but not overdone, and they made sense, you know, and it was a cool way of kind of linking everything together.
Even Guy's appearance.
Yeah, even Guy's appearance. You know,
Guy Sheehan.
And then, you know, I guess the other thing we forget about is just the evil corporation. You know, not only do you have the fascist titans, you know, the fascist part of the military that are using a disaster to take over control. You know, you have the evil corporation, Anaheim, which gets all this technology, all these engineers, all this stuff, and then the war is over with. So what do? I mean, like that. You know, it's like we talked about with Paramount Plus. I mean, their business is revenue. You know, what do you do when all of a sudden all the revenue stops because the war stops? Well, you see things for the next thing, and then we just see how corrupt they are, and you know how that's part of the whole thing. How the Federation and the Titans know. I mean, that this is just it's interesting. You just see people getting used upon used, and yeah, it's interesting. The epilogue I thought was the 2-volume epilogue was really good. It really puts the Mancha and the fourth team, the immortal fourth team, in light. And they basically understand at the end, when they kind of have these, you find out there was like the -7, -8, RX-78, -7, -8 pilots are assigned to their mop-up operations and try to kill them. And, they know what's up. It's like we're marked people. So it's like it'd be better just to stay with the Titans where we kind of know where we stand instead of just trying to fight it. And you kind of wonder how it all ends up for them. I mean, I think that was the biggest thing of this is like, in the end, even Kou and all that, you see Kou still back on Torrington base at the end, but it's like, okay, what really happens to all these people, And it would be cool for like some one shot or something like that of like, at the onset of the Grips War, where are all these people at? So, but yeah, that's definitely some good stuff there. So, Chris, why don't you give us some of your lowlights?
One of them does relate to some of the cameos, and I will say one thing that I did not like was the inclusion of the Igloo crew, because
Oh wow!
I really don't think that Oliver and Monique, after the stuff that they experienced in the war, would choose to stay in the military afterward as part of Axis. It just does not seem at all consistent with their characters, especially Oliver.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It did seem out of place. They felt out of place, and just
I feel like they were there just to have that Igloo connection, and Washiya, who cares? Like, he's like a clown, so like I don't care if he was still like in Zeon, but I really feel that was the wrong decision to have Oliver and Monique be part of Axis.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like Oliver, especially, like, that he would just go back to civilian life and, probably become, an engineering professor or something.
Right.
Not be part of Axis, because then eventually that means that he would be part of Neo Zeon, and that just makes even less sense. So I think that was a bad choice.
And it doesn't really like give us like too much insight as to why they would still be there and all that. It's now that you bring that up, that's a very good observation.
I feel that the character of Clara Lodge didn't really add anything to the story at all, and I think
except for her to be in her underwear.
Yeah,
that's it.
I think the story would have been just fine without her, and I just don't think that she was important or that interesting. I mean, I see that they wanted to have this character who like idolizes Seema, but it didn't really amount to anything. So I think she could have just been excluded from the story.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, even though we get some more insight into Gato, especially like his relationship with Nina when he was hiding out on the moon, he still comes across as pretty like one-dimensional. Like, he's just a blindly devoted fascist because he's a blindly devoted fascist. Like, we don't get any like deeper sense of why it is that he's so devoted to the Zeon cause. He just is because he is.
That's my negative as well.
That's mine too.
Yeah, I wanted him to be more rounded out, to have some more insight as to why he decided to stick with the cause. What drove him when he was in Zeon. I mean, we get to see him in between the 1 Year War and then, of course, the situation in 0083, but they don't really give you all that much.
You gave us a flashback of like how, the Federation wronged him, or they killed his family or something, but it's like he's just a fascism bot.
Yeah, it's like I even if he was a
blindly,
fan of Gurion,
blindly devoted to the laws too. Yeah. I mean, I get that the laws. The loose thing always with that was like he told them to stand down in the MAHQ and to leave, but he owes him his life. But it's like after a certain point, is that enough? I don't know. It just seemed, yeah, you're right. For a guy that was so like about the honor of a soldier, it almost seemed like he had no honor in the end.
And then also he's fighting with Kelly and debating things. He's like, you have emotions and that's a weakness, and it's like, where does all this, like, why are you such a dick?
Like,
why are you the way that you are?
He rolled with Kelly for like years and then didn't like clue him in on the fact that they were gonna drop it was a ruse, but they were gonna threaten the Von Braun City where his girlfriend lives, pregnant with their kid. It's I mean, for someone who presents himself as so honorable, he was also capable of some fuck shit too. And
we even see like some flashback of like him being a weeb in a dojo,
Yeah.
doing sword practice, and it's like, okay, but like that doesn't give me an insight into why Gato is the way.
Yeah, it made no sense.
Yeah, I would have loved that they dedicated at least one volume in retrospect to kind of get into the lore of Gato himself and give us some kind of to let us empathize with him more, because it's hard to empathize with this guy who's such an aggressor and wanting to do as much damage as possible to the planet and to the populace at whatever
Well, actually,
cost.
when he's taken out, I'm just like, okay, this is how it was in the show.
Yeah.
Like it was like, and then it's almost like you got this weird thing of where you get low rent Gato in the epilogue, and it's like in some ways that's
he's pretty much a full frontal Gato.
Discount
Gato. Context is.
But in some ways, his motivation makes a little bit more sense. I don't know. I mean, it's like, yeah.
It just seems odd that for all of the characters, they got so much improvement in this series that like the main antagonist would be left mostly unaltered from the OVA.
Yeah, that is odd. Yeah, I wonder why.
I don't think Delas is any different either, though. He's about the same.
But
Delas
is not as important. Delas is not as important to the story as Gato is.
Yeah.
No,
fair enough.
He's the rival or the protagonist. Delas is not.
He's the mid boss.
It's true.
and he's even more so because Gato is the potential love triangle thing. You know, that whole like thing going on. So it's like, that is the one thing you'd like to sit down and say, you did all this other improvement. Did you forget about him? Or is this just what he was always going to be? Just, a fascist.
Maybe they tried and just could not come up with any deeper motivation for him that worked or made sense. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. He just remained a Zeon Boy Scout for pretty much the majority of the story. But unfortunately, that's definitely a downside.
Chris, anything else?
That's it for downsides.
All right, cool. Yazi, downsides.
Nina Purple's character improved. Her motivation still off and on. Because if you think about her actions, she pretty much went Anaheim on both sides here too. Because she helped the Federation and the Zeon out pretty much. And you see her weird she's seduced by Sirocco of all things. Because she ended up trying to shoot herself in the head because Gato ignored her.
Yeah,
it's weird. I don't even know what her end game was because she's helping the Zeon, she's helping the Federation. She pretty much helped Delas Operation Stardust carry over because of her.
Yeah, she had that psychotic break, and I get it. She was under the pressure of being in love with both these guys. I just thought she would probably make more sensible choices in some parts of this. In some places, she was just over emotional and not thinking logically and not making the best choices in this situation. She wanted both these cats to live and hopefully not fight each other, but realistically, that's not going to happen. At least with Kou was trying to take him in alive. But Gato was, he's by any means necessary, so he's taking all heads, except for hers. He still had a sweet spot for her, and he had at least the guilt of I won't say seducing her, but of getting insight on the Gundam project through her. He felt guilty about that. That's one of the better sides of Gato, at least, that he had remorse for what he did there. But yeah, when it comes to the decisions that she made, it just had me scratching my head sometimes. I still liked her rendition in this, and I like the fact that she's on her own journey now, as opposed to being there to greet Kou when he got out of jail. Which the manga tries to trick you with for a second. I love that shit. But she's on her own journey, and I certainly hope it leads to better pastures for her. But yeah, it's a mixed bag with her for certain.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the only real faults I have with the manga that you guys haven't mentioned, because the whole Gato thing is still pretty weak. That all the characters they improved on, that one's still weakest. And I mean, I'm not sure if this is a con against it, but the Federation is just far more incompetent, a lot more corrupt, because the Albion and even that one dude, Admiral Cohen, he's like the only rebel faction left over, because you even see that the main command of the Federation, they're in on the Titan, that one old dude with the cat.
Oh yeah.
Perini. Yeah, him. Yeah, you thought he'd be the leader of the Titans, but he probably died and Jamato took over or something, so.
Yeah, and then you see that, like, just what Admiral Cohen is just the last bit of, like, kind of the old Federation.
Yeah.
That, you know, and he's just used as he's the useful idiot. You know, he's basically used for them as the way of their takeover. Because in the end, that's what they were. I mean, they were just they were good-hearted and they were part of the old Federation, and they, you know, that just wasn't. Most of their contemporaries were gone, or probably retired. You know,
or forced into the Titans. Because as you see, the Albion's crew.
Yeah,
so,
I think most of them are just, you know, outside of people like Mancha and them, but, you know, most of the command structure, a lot of those guys were dead.
No, I'm talking about the Albion crew. They were like forced to be Titans, because you could see because they were kept under watch. They regretted being there.
Yeah.
Although at least the captain that one ship was actually competent. He was not like the rest of these dumbass Titans. So he's like, yeah, this is a stupid order. We are not following this order. So shout outs to that one other competent Titans captain, which is extremely rare.
It's super rare.
So bro, your faults?
I mean, we pretty much said the majority of them. I would say my only other nitpick is because he's such a major player in Zeta that I would have loved to see at least Blex make an appearance, just to reflect the other side of the conflict.
Hey, he doesn't show up, does he?
No, he doesn't show up at all. Unless I missed him, I didn't see Blex.
He does not show up here.
And for him to run the AAUG as he does, I figured you would at least see him kind of like reading the tea leaves and seeing what's going on and preparing to take an offense to what the Titans have going on. But they covered a lot in this, so it's just, again, a nitpick. It's not really something that brings it down, but it would have been cool to see Blex in this, and maybe Henkin. But yeah, that's about it.
Blex does show up in that Gundam Legacy manga, which is done by the same artist here.
Oh.
If you see those two Titans pilots that were former Gundam pilots that Mancha talks to, they show up in there. That's pretty much like a follow-up to this, the events of this.
So dope.
So, they were like the pilots of Gundam 04 from Encounter Space game, and then Murdrock, the number 6 from Zeonic Front. So that's what. Yeah, but Blex briefly shows up in that manga during their story. So.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad they found a place to incorporate him into kind of this backstory leading up to Zeta. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Legacy is like an anthology of very different story. It kind of come up tied together at the end. So.
You mean Gundam Unit 5? Because 4 was the one that
4
exploded.
was the blue one, yes. Yes, the proto red frame, yes. You're right. But they both look the same. One just has a Gatling gun and as red.
Oh, yeah, right on.
Yep, that's correct. So, and then they mentioned the Gundam Unit 7 because they used, I don't know, there's a weird mobile suit variations here. Like, they go to what? 3 versions of GP03 because they don't know which one to do. It's some weird stuff here. But, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just that GP03 is not that good if you think about it, because it gets its ass kicked until they have to refigure like 3 times there. New Zeal kicks his ass most of the time.
On the back foot, man. No doubt. Yeah, that's
Anything
it.
else, Paula?
No, I'm solid,
right.
man. It was an enjoyable time, man. I really I don't have too many complaints, but Gato could have definitely served to have more insight. But yeah, other than that, it's nothing more.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of am with everybody else's stuff. I mean, I think the biggest one would be Gato. The only other thing is that, you know, the fact that they are, you know, you would think that there'd be somebody that would spill the beans about, you know, bask in them what they did. I mean, but I guess their ships were just, you know, hand-picked with all their fascists that they wanted. You know, I think it's probably one of the better depictions of, you know, how corrupt the the Federation is. You just kind of hear it a lot in some of the later things, but this is where you see where really the genesis of it, and in some way,
data that the Titans are very good with information control and censorship.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, and that would have been nice to see that, how they were able to do that. But yeah, I mean, in the end, that would probably be the biggest thing, is the fact that they did so well on everybody else's stories and that, and then just Gato was kind of just let, but I guess maybe that was the plan the whole time. He's just a one-dimensional guy. So anything else about Rebellion before we go into our ratings?
Yeah, I believe there's a CMA spin-off manga that shows that continues the story after Rebellion. So I believe that's still ongoing, or it might be done to according to Deacon Blue. So there's that. So
okay.
But it's separate from this whole epilogue thing. So
yeah, definitely. Soulbro, Chris, anything else?
No, man, we're ready to rate.
All right. Well, I guess Mr. Yazi, since you're our guest, will give you the honors of doing the first ratings of the 18 volumes of Gundam 0083 Rebellion.
Oh yeah, no surprise that I really enjoyed this manga, especially for making up for all the shortfall. Because after reading this, I have no intention of watching 0083 anime again. I'll fighting for music because you can't look back at all what's fixed to go back to the crap. So, but I will give this a rating of 4.5 El Gato Gundam capture devices out of 5.
Oh. Well, Soulbro?
For me, man, I'm right there with Yazi, man. I enjoyed it. It was an absolute treat to read. Very well constructed and spun. I would give it 4.5 Swisher Sweets out of 5. The Swisher Sweets that old girl Alice Miller was smoking.
Chris?
I'm gonna give this 4.5 Sanders fists out of 5.
That's right.
Wow.
5 knuckle shuffles.
And I'm gonna give it the obvious, man. I'm gonna give it 4.5 Mancha mustaches out of 5. You got it. I mean,
you're a caterpillar though.
But it was in full glory in this one. Like it really suited him. I thought it suited him really well.
Him, Steve Harvey, Ted Lasso, Ron Swanson,
Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck.
His stash was kind of Swanson-like. It was Swansonian. I guess that's Swansonian. Is that how
Swansonian? Correct. There you go.
Swansonian. So
he probably more porn stash where he seduced that girl in the 1 Year War, his girlfriend.
Yes.
That ship.
Yeah, that was cool. All right. Well, thank you, Yazi, for joining us on this. Hopefully, we can have you back in the future for some other stuff. Soulbro, you want to? Chris, do you have anything with MHQ that you want to update before we go over to Soulbro with some of how to reach us?
No, just updating reviews, updating line art. The only big new thing is a little while ago I upgraded Escaflowne to include the Mecha, so go check that out.
Oh, awesome! And just remember that day that we hear that there's a Crossbone anime, you better screenshot MHQ.
He's gonna hit the red button, man. It's gonna be him and Dale with the keys in the submarine.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll even make sure it's deleted from the Internet Archive.
It'd be that call to Dale. Be like, all right, let's head down to the bunker.
Yo, DEFCON 1, baby.
Ready, set.
It won't be the crossbows. It's gonna be a rat poison logo.
All right, so bro, you want to tell us where the folks can reach us?
Yeah, make sure to go to mhq.net. That's where the magic happens, man. Lots of stuff going on there. As you heard some of the updates that Chris talked about today. Make sure to go there, hit the favorites button and check often for updates that are going on at the website. Also, mechatalk.net is the official forums of MAHQ. You can also find us over on Facebook at Facebook groups. Just look up MAHQ1. You'll find us there, and you can also join the conversation. I am glad to say that now that Threads, which is a social media website that just opened up through Instagram, just happened. We opened up a Gundam MAHQ over there, so you can follow the link. We're at Gundam at MAHQ on Threads, and also on Instagram as well. So you can find us at Instagram, and also don't forget to find us over on Mastodon at Gundam as well. Other than that, make sure to, if you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. That helps us trend. And if you haven't subscribed here on YouTube, by all means, thank you very much for supporting us here. When you thumbs up the video, it brings it to the attention of other people. So I'm very grateful for anybody who does. Outside of that, that's it for now, man. I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you, Neil.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming out tonight and listening to episode 277, where we talked about Gundam 0083 Rebellion. We'll be back in a few weeks with episode 278. Talk to you guys later.
Made a mockery of me.
Unbelievable.
I busted him up.